Hi friends, welcome back. For those who are new here, I'm a ceramic artist based in the US. On this channel, I'd love to share my work process and studio life with you. Today's video is special because it will be the last time I'll be filming in this studio, as we are about to move out. In this video, I will be recycling my clay, cleaning my tools, sweeping the floor, and finally giving you a full tour of my studio. This studio, which I've used for more than 5 years and where I've created all the works featured on my channel, was actually converted from a garage. I never imagined that the first time I'd give you a tour of it would be when it's time to say goodbye. When we first converted the studio, we didn't know how long we would use it. 5 years, 10 years, or even longer. And now we are about to leave. It turns out that everything in life is fleeting. I'm grateful that I had the chance to work here, sincerely document my journey, and leave behind some marks of my life. Alright, let's get started. The first task today is to recycle the clay. I've soaked the dried clay in a bucket for a long time. Once the clay has fully absorbed the water, I will place it on a thick plaster slab. The plaster will absorb the excess water from the clay. When the clay reaches the right moisture level, I will knead it and store it. You can wrap the kneaded clay in a plastic bag, or like me, store it in a moisture box. The advantage of a moisture box is that over time the clay inside will have a consistent moisture level, which is better for making larger pieces. Let me quickly show you the bucket and plaster slab I use to recycle porcelain clay. If you don't want to mess up your porcelain clay, it's best to use a different plaster slab for it than the one you use for stoneware or earthenware clay. Oops, got it dirty. After recycling the clay, I want to clean my tools. Since they'll be moving to a new home soon, I want them to go there clean and tidy. I dump all my tools into a large bucket and wash them together. This is the most efficient way. I don't have too many tools, just a few favorites that I use regularly. But over the years, they've accumulated. What's your favorite tool? I will also share some of my favorite tools in the future videos. In fact, I really enjoy the process of cleaning my tools. Washing them one by one feels like therapy, as if I'm also washing away the small worries of life. Alright, they are all clean now. Let's line them up to dry a bit before sending them home. Now I will sweeping the floor and show you my entire studio. When sweeping, I like to spray a bit of water in the air to prevent dust from rising. Sometimes I use a pressure washer for a thorough cleaning. How do you keep your studio floor clean? My studio is about 600 to 700 square feet, which is quite large. This is one of the perks of living in a rural area, having a bit more space. By the way, I found a new space to use as a studio. It's large, but since no one has using it in a very long time, it needs a lot of repairs. In the future, I will document the process of renovating the new studio, and I hope you will stay tuned. Like all ceramic studios, mine has many shelves. Most were made by my husband, who is good at woodworking. They hold smaller pieces and some tools. Larger pieces are placed directly against the wall, which also serves as the backdrop when I film larger works. I store glaze and other materials in this area. The large buckets are on the doorways, and the smaller buckets are on the wall. The wooden countertop is treated with varnish for easy cleaning. This area tends to get dusty, so I clean it regularly. Next to the glaze area, there is a shelf where I keep all my molds. Do you remember which piece I used these molds for? If not, don't worry, you will see it soon. This small room was built by my husband. I painted the walls grayish pink and hung some works of the Woman as Vessel series. Besides storing all kinds of items, I also read, sketch, and do some sanding work here. On the wall, I've hung some small experimental pieces like this clay chain. Touching it produces a very pleasing porcelain clicking sound. I have some vague idea about how to use them, but I will need to experiment more in the future. I also love this knight made from extruded clay, which I used in the I Do Not Know I Am Guessed When I Dream series. I hope to continue developing new works with this. In the small room, I've also placed some glazed textiles. Some are really nice but haven't yet been used in any pieces. So this space is full of potential. On the bookshelf, beside some works, there is a small plate I love, filled with twigs I collected. Unfortunately, the focus is off, but there are two beautiful mushrooms on the twigs. These natural elements are also important inspiration for me. Here is a small doll I made before having a child, which surprisingly looks a lot like my first baby. The walls in the room are covered with a bunch of my sketches. The one with size marking are super important for my larger pieces. There are also some more detailed sketches in there too. I also stick to material reference notes on the wall, which I can glance at when I forgot something, as well as some posters, photos of my works, and sources of inspiration. Alright, let's see what possibility this porcelain chain holds. Sometimes playing around can lead to new ideas. What do you think? Does the chain go well with this series? For spaces like studios, I think using fabric to divide the area is a great idea. For example, this sheer curtain. It visually separates the space without blocking it off, creating a light and economical division. Behind the large pieces, because of the background wall is not wide enough, I've used a thick curtain from the supermarket to compensate it in the most budget-friendly way. I almost forgot to introduce the most important one in my studio, my kiln. I bought this second-hand kiln from Lady. It's an Amaco EX270, a 7 cubic feet. Though a bit old and occasionally in need of repairs, it's still a very reliable and quality kiln. Next to the kiln is a toe stand, also made by my husband, for holding kiln shelf supports. It has wheels underneath, making it easy to move for floor cleaning. There are also a few turntables made by my husband that are my absolute favorites. They are very handy. If you are interested, I can ask him to share how to make these turntables. That's the full tour of my studio. It's not perfect, but it's very practical. Although there's still much to improve, I'm already very grateful to have such a space. It allows me to continue creating after graduation and to film many videos for my audience. What was once an empty house is now filled with everyday items, kids and kids' items. It has gone from quiet to bustling. The garage was transformed into my studio, where, between moments of leisure and hard work, I created one piece after another. These works originated from me, were close to me, and then became independent entities. I once dreamed of filling the studio with works, creating a utopia for myself. I've also felt discouraged, wanting to abandon it all. I've witnessed the rosy haze of dawn at 5 a.m. and couldn't bear to leave the mountains lit up by fireflies, despite being swarmed by mosquitoes. Here, I've questioned myself, who I am, where do I belong? Is this an escape or a heartfelt pursuit? I've seen the pure freedom and desire of love in my children's lover, and felt the warmth and embrace in nature of the interaction between clay and my hands. All of this will become memories, and I can already see this experience turning into a floating bubble at my fingertips. Sometimes near, sometimes far. This is a precious gem for my family and me. Sometimes that will shine unexpectedly in our memories when we are close to forgetting. I also know that even those who are not with me will sometimes through a shared spiritual connection, feel as if they were here with me. Thank you, my audience, for joining me in unveiling the next chapter.